Hello and welcome to the channel. So we've got another Masco. This belongs to the same customer as the previous Masco M25N, and he sent this one down as well. We sent it down a couple of 3 weeks ago, but with me being ill and my father being ill and one thing or another, backlog of repairs, we've only just managed to get onto this now. So this one's had some work done to it at some time or another apparently, so we're going to have a look inside it. All the tubes and everything are in here packed, so I'm just going to leave those in for a moment. They're all bubble wrapped and nicely secure. Right, so we'll have the lid off and have a look inside, and as you can see there has been some work done to this. Now this is still the thing with this is this work's been done. We've still got the original 2-prong cable on there, which doesn't look very safe at all, does it? Remember, this is 110 volts. It's an American amp, for all of you that haven't seen the previous one. So this runs on 110 volts. It has had the inputs changed, but they're all loose. Well, that one's loose. And they're not switching sockets, are they? Are they? No, they're not, look. So they're not switchable sockets, so they're useless, because when you pull the guitar out there'll just be loads of noise. And of course, as you can see, we've got all these radial caps in here. We've got one axial there, pretty well secure, but this just bouncing around, this and this, you can see here, and this, and so on. There's some axials here, and they're all quite puny as well. So 10 microfarad, 10 microfarad. So this bigger one here is 22 at 450. The tubes aren't in it at the moment, which is why that's loose, just the pin's loose there. That's fine. So yeah, just the use of the radials, really. All the coupling capacitors have been replaced, and they're quite good quality ones by the look of it. We've got a small cap over there, not sure what that's doing, but if it's on the phase inverter it could be for oscillation. Original speaker sockets still on the back. We're changing those on the other one. In fact, they've already been removed on the other one. So no ground on this. So this isn't very good at all, and these really will need changing. The problem with this is that as this amp's moved about, it's put in the back of a car, it's being taken to a gig, these, every time the car goes over a bump, these are moving around slightly, and eventually they will snap off. It may take a few years, but they will snap off eventually. The other thing with these is you really need to put good quality caps in them, because as this amp is in its present state, it has no HT fuse. So where one of those caps to come loose and short, or these caps fail, for example, because they're not particularly great caps, it could take out the transformer on this amp, and that would be a shame given its age, as this amp is from the late 40s, early 50s. I think that was the date on these when I looked at the other one. So this amp also needs quite a bit of work, and probably, looking at the way this has been done, almost as much as the others. Have they actually fitted? So there has been some speaker sockets drilled into the side there on this one, and these have been left just left on the back. It's got this ashtray like fuse holder again, which has been removed on the other one. That really isn't safe. If it was to work loose and come open, that could be nasty. So never comfortable with fuses like that where they're exposed on the outside, even though it has got, as I say, that lid on, but it's only a single screw in there that could easily work loose. Power cables had it completely, old rubber cable. So yes, that needs a bit of work to make it right, but everything else looks okay. You know, the caps, the smaller caps are pretty not sure what that one's doing there, but that's got no shrink tubing on there, no insulation, so that one might need a coat of looking at. But there's insulation on these. So yeah, just looking in this at a glance, not too bad in there, but there is things that need addressing in there. So what we'll do is we'll turn it back over, we'll have a look at the tubes and things, get some tubes in it, and just see what this amp does when it fires up and what problems we have with it. There shouldn't be very many if it's been capped and things, but obviously it'll be noisy because of these inputs, I would have thought, not being to ground when there's no instrument plugged into. Right, so we've got the tubes in, but we've got a 6SJ7 here, sorry, a 6J7, and it's got no top cap, so I don't know how that's going to work. Oh, they've got that wired, but there's no top cap for that. Right, I'll put the lid back on to protect the tube so we can stand it up and things. We'll just have to see how we go. I did make a frame for the other one, but the other one's still in the frame. So, right, we're going to fire this beast up. So I'm pretty sure, looking at this, that this is the speaker cable and where it's running onto there. Yes, it is, because that's the impedance selection there. So we'll just plug a speaker in, we'll switch on, and I've just got a 15 watt bulb in, but we're not generating much voltage with that, so I'm going to put another 15 in. Just going to bring this up steady, so that's giving us, you can see, so you can't see, but the mains voltage on our meter, which you can, is over here, which you can we just slide in there, you can see it. That's got 49 volts and climbing 50 volts. That's the 240 going into the 110 volt transformer, so we've probably got about half of that on this transformer, but we're just going to bring this up steady. So those two bulbs are quite bright at the minute. So 30 watts of current limiting. We've got a ground on here as well. This is a ground, and this is into a plug top on the wall. We've got this is a ground, you can see. So we've grounded the chassis to make it safe. So that's kind of sitting at about 65 volts, so it'll probably only be about 30 odd. So we're going to go up on the bulbs. So let's put a 40 in with that, so we've got 55 now. Now the voltage is going up on there now, 126 and climbing. So again, we'll have about half of that on the step down transformer. Still not showing anything on the rectifier tube yet. Got, obviously, till we get a certain voltage, that won't start to warm up. We've got one of the lights, the pilot lights, is working, the other one's not. So one of those is working. Just have a bit of so that bulb's probably gone. Bulbs are dimmer now, and now we're getting more voltage, and we're beginning to see something on this meter now. Oh, there we go. Just hadn't pushed that in far enough. So we've got 113 volts on there, which is not a lot, but let's see if we've got any signal going in. I don't think we have, because of that 6J7. There's no top cap for it, which indicates that maybe the wrong tube. I seem to remember the other one having a 6J7 that didn't have a top cap. I'm not familiar with those tubes, I must admit. I don't use tubes like that very often at all. Obviously in the States you'll see a lot more of those than I will here. So we've got the gen on. I'll just go into one of these. Oh well, we have. So I don't know then. So we've got something going on, at least in that channel. So the next one, yeah, and another, yeah, and the phono. Phono's much quieter, but right. So it's all running. We'll look for put a bigger bulb in then. We'll put 100 in there now, and that's come up quite a bit more. You can hear the volumes coming up now, and we've also got some real bad background hum. Which tells us that this amp hasn't been recapped very well. Yeah. We've only got 134 volts on the 8 HT voltage. B plus. Right, I'm just going to take another bulb out. We're going to put another, so we've now got 200 watts now. That's the max I can go up to. I haven't got any bigger bulbs than that. So and you can hear that's, and I'm not going to take it off the current limiter because of that. That's not a good look, is it? Or should I say not a good sound? The bulbs are dim though, you know, it's not like it's, they're lit a little bit but they're dim. It's not like it's drawing excessive current, but that doesn't sound good, does it? So we are going to do some mods to this amp, but I'm afraid this really wants almost as much doing to it as the original one, the one that's not been recapped. That really is noisy, and I'm not sure there's not a cap missing, unless that is one for the screens that they've put on there. But that is a mite noisy, isn't it? So let's just place this cap on here. Don't try this at home. Yeah. Yeah, see how much quieter that's gone. Take that off. So yeah, that's definitely capacitance hum. So lack of smoothing on there, and same on the, I would have imagined they've wired that to the screen. I can't quite see in one. Yeah, because that's next. Oh, that's all a bit botched up there, my word, that's a bit close. Plate and screen pins are very close together with all that blobbed in solder on there, so we need to be a bit careful with that. Clean that up, it's no big deal. So there we go. I'm not going to take this off the current limiter, and we would get a lot more out of it. Let's just see what the controls are doing. Yeah. Let's try this phono socket, see what the deal is. That's very quiet. Mic 2. All the controls work well though, no scratchy pots. Really good quality pots on these though. They didn't make rubbish in those days. My word, that it really is noisy. Yeah, it's a bit sick. It is, despite all the work that's been done to it. Right, so we'll shut down. So there we go. And I'll remember to discharge that capacitor that I used to put across there, because it'll probably still be charged up. It is, and it is. A bit of a spark come off that there. But yeah, if I just suddenly forget to discharge that and then pick it up later, give me a nip. It only give me a bit of a nip, but it's a bit of an assessment video, this one, to see what, you know, what was required to get this amp again up and running. And again, despite it's had work done to it, it's not great. So we just have a bit of a recap then. So if you pardon the pun, so he's on okay, no problems with him, except we could do with a few more microfarads. This one, no. These radials, there's nothing wrong with radials, but not in point-to-point amps, unless you can secure them. But you can't just leave them like that. This one's the same. This one is even looser. These are more secure, but again, we could probably make those a little bit more, and they need the microfarad up on there. No switching jack sockets in there. These are just normal jack sockets, and obviously someone has put these in. They've removed the original because they're a different fitting on these. I can't remember what they call them. They're a different socket, sorry. They're like a threaded type socket. So somebody's put those in, but they're not switched, so they need to be changed. Phono doesn't really matter, probably won't use that anyway. And then obviously we're probably going to mod a couple of the channels, leave one original, which is what we're doing on the other one. What else? These caps all look okay if the values are right, but they're good caps. Got a bit of a lot of solder on there, so we can do with sorting that out. Those pins are a bit close for comfort, although it wouldn't be a deal. It just means that the tube would suddenly be wired as a triode. You wire the plate and screen together on an output tube, you end up with a triode. And that's basically all I can see. I don't think we need to change these sockets on the back. Now we've got these speaker sockets otherwise we're just going to end up with 2 redundant holes. So I've removed these on the other one to have them on the, they are better if you have them on the back, but now somebody's done that, we'll probably just leave that and just leave these wired in. We need a new power lead on it because that's obviously got no ground anyway, and we need to remove this fuse thing on the back here and make that safe. As I said, this, with having this light door on it with a single screw, it is just not safe to leave that. If that should come undone, that would be rather nasty. And although there would only be 110 volts going through there in relation to what this amp would be 240, but whilst the volts is half, the current is double, and it's the current that's more dangerous. So that's another reason why that, for me, that's not safe. So I think that'll do it for this one. I'm sorry it's been a bit of a, it's just been an assessment video and we haven't been able to get the guitar through. Well, we did, but it didn't sound very good, did it? And I really don't want to let this amp off the current limiter in its present state, because, you know, I don't know how well this has been wired. We have got a lot of background hum on there, and I don't want to risk that transformer or anything. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye bye for now.